market structure bill overnight. What's in it?
So this text is actually fairly consistent with what we've been seeing over the last couple of months. This defines what is under the jurisdiction of the SEC, what is under the jurisdiction of the CFTC, and it provides regulatory clarity for companies like Coinbase so they can go forth and get the enforcement albatross off their neck. Now, there is still this discussion about stablecoins. What the deal essentially says is that rather than paying rewards through third-party platforms like Coinbase on the balances, going forward, you'll have to do it on transactions or market makings or for use of product and service. So, obviously those reward programs are going to be a little bit less of an emphasis going forward. But I would just say is that the clarity that companies like Coinbase get is certainly going to help them in the long run and certainly allow them to take up market share over to the detriment of the small mom and pop players going to emerge over the next few years.
Nathan, what are the banks going to like? What are they not going to like in this text?
So obviously they don't like what's going on with the stablecoin yield. I mean, obviously the American Bankers Association is leading the charge on this. They even sent out an email on Mother's Day telling their folks to call up on Capitol Hill and fight this, because the idea here is that if I'm going to take 5% of my bank account and say, look, I want to put in the stablecoins, that's a deposit flight risk. Now the banks are going to push hard on this, but Senator Tillis and Senator Alsobrooks, the two senators that came up with this deal, they insinuated over the weekend that this is the done deal. This is not going to change. And so what I'm looking for in the Senate Banking Committee markup on Thursday is language that suggests that momentum is going to keep going. So even if you get some partisanship that comes out in the committee, as long as they keep going, I think this passes 60% chance by the end of the year.
What at Mother's Day call? Sorry, Mom, got to go lobby on behalf of the banks. Hey, Nathan, before we let you go, I'm curious about where it leaves the crypto firms. We're going to be speaking to Kara Calvert over at Coinbase in just a minute. What do you think, not just Coinbase's reaction, but crypto firms? What's their reaction?
It's largely positive. There's some provisions in here tied to development, privacy that I think the crypto sector is going to like. But at the end of the day, it gets away this enforcement concern that was under the Biden administration, because everything that the SEC and CFTC are doing right now to provide clarity to the sector can be done away with the stroke of a pen if the Democrats win in 2028. This bill solidifies it, puts it in law, and would make it much more difficult to get this idea of regulatory ambiguity that we saw over the last 5 to 6 years.
All right, good stuff. Nathan Dean, Bloomberg Intelligence senior analyst, joining us from Washington, setting us up for our next conversation.